He looks at me, I turn around, she's naked.
That's how we do it in the South.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. Cubby Kai.
Rob Pitts.
A little higher next time. Anyway. Kinky. So, not that guy. This is YouTube, not that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Anyway, guys. Yeah, we were thinking about what we're going to talk about today. And we've moved out of the old store. So, it's gone bye-bye. But, you know, there were so many funny stories that you guys either caught little bits and pieces of it, but there was so much more to it filmed at the old store, or even the idea of the store in general. And me and Kobe were actually talking about this the other day at lunch. That's the thing, the stories behind the stories, I guess. You know, first of all, so we moved in here 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
And that was an empty building with a toilet.
But you know what was even funnier? We go back before that. You know, before we even thought about getting a building, we were coming back. I got to thinking about it. We were trying to think where that all even came about. We were coming back from Rick Hendrick's show. We were up there doing the Shriner show on the way back. How about we, get a building? And we were like, well, okay. So we started looking at 2,500 square foot buildings, 2,500 square foot.
Well, you got to think. So this is something too, to fill you in on that. There's not a lot of people that do what we do here in South Carolina, because South Carolina is a no consignment car state. We don't sell other people's cars, we sell our cars. This is the problem. Like you see Street Side Gateway, whatever, North Carolina or Georgia or any other state, almost every other state has consignment but South Carolina. And so there's not a lot to go by around here. So we were just kind of shooting from the hip. Now looking back, 2,500 square feet, I mean, hell, we would have filled that up in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
So that's where we were started. Like, do we just need a backdrop and a couple cars? How are we going to do this? We didn't know how it was going to turn. I mean, I was selling cars, at the old truck shop. Some of the original videos were shot right there in the truck shop. But, we didn't know how big we needed. We didn't know how big it was going to get. We didn't know we didn't know anything. We just totally learning as we go.
At the end of the day, we just got into the YouTube thing. Really, not long before that,
You gotta think we were what, 10 videos in?
Maybe. And,
before we come to the store.
You would send me messages and be like, hey, check out this warehouse. We went and looked at a couple, blah, blah, blah. Then, I just happened to go to lunch with Edwin McCain. He's like, hey, man, we got this building. And I was like, so we went and looked at it. He rolled up the door, and I'm like, oh, my God, I thought it was like going to the convention center, how big it was. I was like, holy cow.
I remember walking in there the very first time. It was me, Kobe, and Matt, the OG camera guy. Yep. It was fun. We walked in there. I said, there's no way in hell we will ever fill this building up. There's no way. This is overkill. And he goes, oh, man, it's going to work out good. It's going to work out good. And then 6 months later, like, we ain't got enough room.
Exactly. We got in there, and, Edwin had that military truck in there, the first thing, and it was lined with wooden shelves. And I just put ad on the line about, come get these free wooden shelves. And I had people lined up out the door.
And to stop, because I know a lot of you guys are younger, and when he says Edwin McCain, Google him, even my camera guy, I had to do it for him. He's like, who's Edwin? I've never seen Edwin before. I said, Google his name.
That's it.
He's a Grammy Award-winning artist. He had a really popular song about 1998, 1999 called I'll Be. Great guy, local guy.
If you ever been to a wedding, I guarantee you heard his song.
That song has been played. And
exactly.
This is why I hang out with Kobe Miller, because he has lunch with cool people. Moving on.
We do. But, there said, we got the warehouse. Then it was like, what do? We need some offices, because it had a toilet. That was it. Bottom line.
It didn't even have a door on it. It was literally two walls with a toilet.
And we were like, let's build a gas station.
Well, and Amit kind of stole that idea a little bit. Vet City in Seneca Berry built a gas station facade on the backside of its building. And I always thought that was the neatest thing. We actually did a photo shoot there. And when we did that photo shoot, I just thought that was so cool. We had a Sinclair gas station. And so that gave me the idea for the gas station because we needed offices, but I wanted them to look cool and we wanted a cool spot to shoot back towards and take pictures of the cars and all that. Since we have all this room, so we built a 1,200 square foot structure, literally bigger than a real Flying A gas station, and in all honesty. But and then everybody asked, why'd you choose Flying A and not Texaco or something? Because the Fonz worked at the Flying A.
Exactly. And it's just cool colors.
Well, it was different. You know, Flying A's were up north and out west, you know, so you didn't have any of that around here anyway. So I just thought it'd be kind of neat.
And I love some of the first comments when we first did the gas station. Everything on that gas station is 100% fake. And people were like, where in the world is that gas station at? Because you couldn't see where it was at.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was out on the side of the road somewhere.
Well, I mean, we had people. And that was the thing that was crazy is you walk into this building and people would go, holy shit, because you come in the building through the front door, you'd walk through the offices, then you'd walk through that glass door and you walk down to the warehouse, you turn around, there's a gas station behind you, you just walk through. Like it kind of like caught people off guard. But, and the thing that was crazy and we showed bits and pieces when we were filming this, but the thing that was fun about it is there was 3 offices in there. You got to think, Matt, we had he did everything editing on site right there. Come at his office for all the event stuff. I had a sales office there. We had a little merch area showroom. It had 1 full bath and one half bath. And it had a green room, a sound room. I mean, this thing had a kitchenette in it. It was a full kitchen.
It was a full house inside.
I mean, basically, it was a full house, a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath house, minus the roof and the foundation.
Pretty much.
Inside the gas station. But you know, speaking of that, and that was fun, and getting it built. And then a lot of you guys seen it being built, you know, in the background behind us, some of our first videos. Speaking of our first videos, shooting with the models. And we get a lot of comments on this, and I read them, and I'm going to tell you, it was fun.
It was.
It was interesting, and there's stories that I cannot share with you on YouTube that involve these people.
No.
But it is such a headache. And I'm not saying we'll never do it again, or we may not have a special or something fun, because there were some of them that were really fun to shoot with that were great. And there were some of them that
you literally had to hold their hand, their models, to tell them, well, speaking of holding their hands.
Yeah, holding their hand. We had one that was blind.
100% blind.
Should we tell them which one was blind or make them try to guess?
No, let's make them guess.
Okay, so one of the models.
So the best comment, if you guess it right, we'll give you something. We'll give you something.
We'll give you something if you can guess which model you think is blind. And when I say blind, I'm talking about Kane Ray Charles blind.
Yes.
This was the thing that was crazy. To look at her, you would never know it. The thing that was crazy is you got to think about it. We filmed the walk around scenes generally before I got there. Because when we were filming these early episodes, I was still working at the truck shop running it, so I would cut loose and run over and film our scenes, or we filmed them at night. So a lot of times the models were already there. Matt already filmed the walk-arounds and all the stuff you saw at the end. That was filmed earlier. So by the time I got there, they already been there. Well, this particular day, I got there a little early, and I thought it was kind of funny. You know, a lot of these models came with their boyfriends, or hell, a few of them came with their mom. I mean, it was just, whatever. They came from all over, but the thing that was crazy about it is this girl come walking in with her boyfriend, and they were holding hands. But it wasn't like they were holding hands like boyfriend and girlfriend. They were holding hands like he was just kind of like leading her along.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's this all about?
Like,
Matt said, you don't know?
I was in my office when they got there, and they come through the door, and they introduced themselves, and I'm like, okay. Matt was already out in the warehouse doing something. So she goes, well, where can I get changed at? I was like, well, we have, the green room. We have this restroom, wherever you want to get changed at. She's like, and he goes, it don't matter to her. She can't see. I'm like, what do you mean she can't see? He's like, and she goes, I'm blind. I'm like, you're blind? She's like, and she's wearing glasses.
But like really thick, and the thing is, so with the glasses, like she could see like shadows. Like literally just blurry objects.
And like, lo and behold, I take her to the green room and she changes. And I mean, literally, her boyfriend had to, or one of us, Matt, myself, or Rob, when she was doing that video, we had to kind of guide her in directions or place stuff in certain areas so she could relate.
So she could touch it. So
she could relate where she was at.
This is a hint. She never took her hand off the car the whole time. She was walking around tracing the car, but we had to put actually put the parking meter.
Yep.
We put a parking meter in front of the car so she could touch that, so she knew to take a turn and go right. Very interesting.
It was.
Wonderful job. I'll be honest with you. Finished product, you would have never known it.
She was probably one of the best models.
And beautiful. I mean, all that was great. But it was just so But a funny side note, and this is something you've never seen before on YouTube, obviously, because we're still here. So there was a glass door on the front of the office going in. Well, you got to understand, when you're blind, you rely a lot on hearing and things like that. So her boyfriend walks her back into the office area and shuts the door. And, all the offices were to the right-hand side when you walked in that door. Well, when she opened that door, she heard the door shut. So she thought it was a door closed, which it was, but it was a glass door. She just starts undressing right there.
She did.
And I'm sitting here telling the story, and Matt's over here like behind the camera, like, what the fuck? And I'm like, he's like, what? He goes like this. And I turn around, and she's like topless back here behind me. And I mean, in front of this glass mirror, front and center.
And the sad part is I'm sitting in my office, and she's at my door. And I'm like, well, do I say something?
Like, I know they're filming, so I don't want to walk out. It's like, what do you do at this point? And her boyfriend like walked off.
Yeah.
He was like off playing on his phone or something. And like, what do we do, These are the problems we had. But we did have some fun ones.
Yes.
We shot with Hugh Hefner's car.
We did shoot with
That
him.
was Savannah. Savannah's awesome. She lives up in North Carolina. It's super cool. That was a fun shoot.
That was a very cool shoot. I mean, who else gets to have one of Hugh Hefner's cars in their warehouse, and especially Savannah doing it, because Savannah,
she's beautiful. I mean, she's an established model, all this stuff. Another cool one, probably my favorite video though, of all of them we shot, probably one of the worst ones view-wise. Not worst, but low on the view numbers. But personally enjoyed, I love the Rusty Car video. How we do it in the South.
Yes, that was
was fun. At Greenville Pickett Speedway.
It was. That was one of the fun ones. That was a really cool one. It was just, I have a big racing background history. I started racing when I was 5 years old, go-karts and so on. And so to actually, like this stock car or have the Rusty car or any of them, it's always fun doing cool race car stuff or racing stuff in general. And, we've went and called races. We went and done all kinds of cool stuff, but that was a fun one.
It was fun to get out of the warehouse and shoot that.
Yes,
and
I love getting out of the warehouse.
That was stuff. It was fun, and I mean, and Matt, set it all up, and it went great. I love how the video. Julie was there, another model we shot with, and she's always a good sport. She's local, and that was the fun stuff. Like I love doing things for great causes. Keep in mind, the Rusty car actually got auctioned off, and all the money went to the Shriners Hospital for Children.
Yeah. Going back to where it all kind of started, where we were getting that from Hendrix.
That's kind of crazy.
We do a lot of stuff for charity. I do a lot of car shows for charity. Doing a great one this coming up weekend for a little girl that has cancer. She's 5 years old. I try to do a lot of charity stuff and give back to the community. We both do. And it's just, we're in that place now in our careers where we can actually start doing that a lot more. And it just, to me, it's a heartwarming to give back to the community and the local areas and kids in general. But probably, I would say one of my favorite videos we've ever done, I think the first video we did in Daytona.
Man, that was fun. That's with the Corvair.
Yes, the Corvair. Y'all heard the Corvair story. Actually, that was one of the first cars to go in the warehouse.
Yeah, that was actually one of the very first cars to go in the warehouse was that Corvair. But yeah, that old man, God, he was such an ass.
You three fat blanks. I mean, it was hilarious.
Yeah, so I've bought cars from so many different walks of life. This guy, I've never been insulted.
And still bought his car.
And bought his car. And it was so funny how it worked. I've never owned a Corvair in my life. Be honest with you, it never was even a bleep on my radar.
I'm an air-cooled guy from way back when. I mean, owned a gazillion million air-cooled cars, but never thought about a Corvair. We were walking. I just happened to catch it out of the corner of my eye.
It was just beautiful. It had a cool look. And that was the thing that was funny about that car. Corvair is not exactly the epitome of hot rods by any stretch of the imagination. But this car with the little slotted mags on it, it was black. It was a Spider, had 4-speed in it. black top, black inside. It was just a cool car. Like even you take that color combination on anything, just that vibe works. You know, the little drop top, and you know, just bought it on a whim. I mean, the car was stupid cheap, and we bought it. Matter of fact, the same guy that had it for sale had the Cobra wall hanger.
We got
was in
it.
The warehouse.
We literally, before we left Daytona swap meet that day, that was on Thanksgiving Day, we ended up having the wall hanger, a couple sets of wheels, all kinds of stuffness. We drove it all around Daytona swap meet, pretending
I bought a hood for this vet.
Pretending to get out of there because we were lost, but we actually weren't we were pretending to them, but we were going around picking up all our stuff because we're too lazy to carry it to the truck.
I hope nobody from the Turkey Rod Run is watching this.
Exactly. Sorry, people.
I'm not with him if you are. Yeah, so that was a big thing. When you go to a big event like this, huge swap meeting, you know, we got a real bad habit of buying dumb big shit. And, you know, heavy and big is kind of our thing. We like random big things, and especially far away from home. I don't like buying things close. Same reason I'm looking at funny cars, you know, in Indianapolis, because I know Travis Bell will go pick it up for me. But that was the thing. So we bought a hood for a LT1 hood for a vet, bought a set of wheels and tires, bought, oh man.
We had that wall hanger.
A bunch of cleanup stuff, that wall hanger.
We bought.
No, you bought the Volkswagen wall hanger too. No, that was next year. Bought a gumball machine.
Gumball machine.
Like this big, this big cast iron base. Like, I mean, this thing weighs like 75 pounds. It's full of these gumballs. God knows how old they are. But like, this is what we're walking around with. And this Corvair, we loaded this thing up like a dump truck, riding around the track. And every time the officials come to us, you can't drive around here in a car. We're lost. We're trying to find our way out. And this thing's got a hood hanging out of the back of it, a gumball machine. Like everything was full in the back of it.
But then we went and dropped them all off in this extra small hotel room. And then we literally probably put 300 plus miles on that Corvair. And you've heard the story where we're going into one Daytona. I'm driving, you know, you cannot hear this Corvair running whatsoever. It's so quiet
as a church mouse.
And all these big blower cars are flipping switches, overheating, doing their thing. And then we're like, Matt, is it running? And he'll put his hand back there on the back. Oh, it's running. Okay.
Yeah, like, I mean, that was the thing. Everybody's car's running hot. You got all these big, badass hot rods. And they'll be damned. We pull into one Daytona, which is the hot spot at night when you go to Daytona Beach. And that little Corvair, they were all over.
Yeah, everybody was thumbing up.
They thought that was the coolest thing ever.
And, you know, they're sitting here with these triple stack blowers and these Camaros and blah, blah, blah. And it was just, that was a fun video, though. That was a fun video to film, just because the nightlife and all the fun stuff.
But, you know, we drove that Corvair on the beach. We drove that Corvair everywhere. And it ended up, the coolest thing was we brought it back to Greenville. It was here for we literally filmed with it.
Yep.
2 days, and ended up selling it to a guy. He works for a body shop. He's a service writer for a body shop. And it was his very first hot rod. And he still got it. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yep. All the cool stories. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if it's coincidence or what, but most of our stories of selling people cars, it's like, it is almost like they go to the right home. Not necessarily another collector don't buy them or whatever. It seems like they just happen to find their right way to their right owner. And most of them don't ever get rid of them. There's so many that we've sold that they still have.
They still have them. I mean, I tell you about probably my favorite sell out of all of them. And I know this video is getting long, so we'll wrap it up with this. Probably my favorite sell is we had a 61 Corvette come in. And it was a really sad story. The man that owned it since the 70s. He actually won it in a pool game, shooting pool. He won this car in like 75 or 74 or something. And it was an all original 61 Corvette. And this car was smoked. And we sent it over to Howie. And Howie detailed it. I kid you not. I've seen a lot of Corvettes, a lot of first gen Corvettes in my life. By far, this was the nicest first gen Corvette I've ever seen in my life. Now it's in a museum in Arizona, that car is. I thought that was really cool. This man was, you know, we bought the car and he was, you know, in bad shape. But this car now you know, his baby, he had all these years. You know, it wasn't a flip. You know, some guy didn't get, well, I'll make some money off this thing. It is sitting in a museum. People are paying to see this car now. And it got drug out of a house in Greer.
Yes. And to get to the end of this story or whatnot, you know, like I said, we got a 5,000 square foot warehouse that we were happy in for 4 years. And we come to realize we were busting at the seams. And to look now from a ride back from Charlotte, where it all began, to having another huge warehouse in Seneca, just a few miles from Clemson, that is close to 8,000 square foot with a huge loft and all this. It is amazing how far in a short period of time we've come, and it is because of the YouTube people. It's because of all the sales, and just because of everybody, friends, and all the friends that we've made along the way. I mean, it's just amazing.
It blows my mind the people that have come by here. And keep in mind, we're still way under construction. We're not even a third of the way done. And speaking of that, we need to get to work too. But yeah, we're not even a third of the way done. We're talking about it. But what's fresh on one's mind.
Yeah.
But the people that have came by already and, you know, brought stuff and offered to help. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've done a lot of things. I've never had them offer to help me do shit. And all of a sudden, everybody's gets handy all of a sudden around here.
I'm
where were they at when I was building my house?
Yeah, but, you know, and it is just so amazing of how the car culture and, you know, like going to events and shows and stuff of all the amazing people we've really have come in contact with, you know, Travis Bell, Ed Bullion, all them guys, everybody that has helped us out along the way, not try to just hold you down, but try to lift you up and keep you going.
Well, and that's the thing. We've built a friendship with all of these guys, and, you know, networking is the name of the game in any of this stuff. And I love it. I do. And I mean, I love the friends I've made along the way, you know, and I think I don't know. We've done something right.
We've done. And I mean, it just seems like every week I get a phone call from different people, you know, or go to an event, and these sponsors are just, you don't have to chase them down. They're just coming to us, you know, hey, you know, like Monster and Nos Energy, you know, we re-signed for them. We've been with them for 4 years now. It's hard to believe. 4 years with Monster and Nos Energy. And they've helped out. And then we just got, you know, Liquid Molly came on board this week. You know, they're like, hey, all your tow pigs, all your cars, we'll donate all the oil changes you possibly could have. You know, that's kind of huge. I mean, Liquid Molly is a very big company to come at us.
How long?
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this one up.
We'll wrap it up. So.
It's like radio.
Yes.
We got to take a commercial break.
We're going to take a commercial break, everyone. We'll be right back.
But anyway, guys, you know what? This is just kind of a good bullshitting session. We had a lot of fun, though. And I think it shed a lot of light on some of the stuff in the background. And we hope you guys enjoyed watching as much as we enjoyed making it. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars.